Alright guys, let's see what happened with Bitcoin. Well, again, we made another leg to the downside. Basically, as we discussed in previous videos, as we expected that it will be, the lowest point was something like $8,400 on Binance, but on BitMEX I think it was $8,360. And if you remember, maybe on Twitter I made this post a few days ago when we had this kind of triangular formation over here and also this bearish flag formation here. So I said that if we will make the breakdown of this bear flag, then it will be like a double target over here in the zone $8,360, and you see we basically reached this target. So both of them played out. So those people who say that technical analysis doesn't work, you see sometimes it actually works. One good thing which I was going to tell you is that if you remember, we were looking at the hash rate indicator when we have the hash rate and the hash rate moving average, and over here when we had the $6,000 area in the price, we had this intersection, this bearish crossover, and we dropped after that from $6,000 to $3,000. And recently we were almost made another similar intersection here, but actually somehow hash rate managed to go up, and the moving average also moved to the upside a little bit. So we still don't have this intersection. So maybe, just maybe, we will not do that, but still we're balancing in a very narrow range, and it's kind of alarming. But still we will look at this in closely and see what will happen. So far I was going to introduce you another interesting thing. It has been a long time since we looked at some interesting indicators, so today I was going to present you another one, Klinger oscillator, and it's very interesting in terms of the performance of the price of Bitcoin recently especially. So what is actually a Klinger oscillator? Well, if we look like deep in details about the calculation, it's a little bit cumbersome, but the idea is that it uses the EMAs, so the trend basically of the price. It also uses the volume component over here and some additional components. Some people are referring it as a temp, based also on different input statements. But the idea is we just basically need to know how to use it. So the usage is pretty simple. Whereas with many other oscillators, we have this like line representing the oscillator itself, this blue line, and the green line, which is a signal line. Basically the moving average of this oscillator. And we are dealing with two major things. First thing is that when the oscillator value is very high and the signal line also high, then we have the intersection of those two when the indicator's value goes through the signal line from the top to the bottom, and we are actually above the zero line. This is the bearish crossover, this is the signal to sell. And you see, for example, in this case we moved down after this signal, and vice versa. If the indicator is in the low area, this is the oversold territory, and the intersection is in the opposite way, so the indicator intersects the signal line from the bottom to the top, then it is the signal for buying. You see, we have this point over here and we move to the upside after that quite a lot. So you may track the history, especially when the price oscillates a lot, the amplitude of oscillations is huge. You may say that, okay, this is like a proper time to use this kind of oscillator to make the trading decisions. But if the price action is like very sideways, like very low volatility, choppy market, then it's not that great, so you can't find the signals to be reasonable and clean. But like in this area, for example, recently we had so many nice signals on Klinger oscillator, like here, here, even here. And another thing which you may look at is the divergence. For example, you look at this area and we have this buying signal, this one, you see, but instead of that we actually dropped after that a little more. However, in the oscillator values, the lows are going higher instead of the price lows, which were going lower. This is the bullish divergence, like the regular one which we looked for the other indicators like MACD and things, stochastic RSI and RSI as well. So we had those bullish divergence for those indicators, and Klinger oscillator also shows the same divergence. So despite that we had this drop in price, but this signal actually was correct, because after that you see divergence confirmed this signal and we had this $3,000 rise rise after that. So what you can see is that in principle it provides nice trading signals for Bitcoin price action, especially recently. And what does it show now? Well, first of all, you can say that we had this sell signal over here, right? And after that we moved to the negative zone, and indeed right now we didn't form the very, very low value yet. Still going lower, but not extremely low, right? So we don't have like the point of the entry yet, and moreover, of course, we don't have the intersection like it was like here, for example, right? So we need to get something like this. So we'll go lower and then go up, and then at the same time signal line will do something like this. So that will be the point of the entry. Of course, it may not happen, and instead of that the oscillator might go something like this, right? And then we'll get it here. So it also will be the indication for buying, but it's much less reliable, so you need to be careful about it. And of course, one shouldn't trade based only on this indicator. You need to have like other values, other indicators, other price action signs, signals to be included in your analysis. But in general, this is, I think, nice point to also consider when you make your trading decisions. So if you didn't know about this indicator, I hope that it would be useful for you for your future trading. Meanwhile, I will keep you updated with the price action, and let's see how it will evolve. So far, that is it for today. So thank you for watching.